Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're going to be testing out more Zealots in the T6 Abyss. This time we're going to be using a Joust Zealot. And what I mean by Joust is that there's a particular type of heavy pulse laser. It's called Joust Heavy Pulse Laser 1. And these guys, they're very special because they have very low power grid requirements. So they're going to be good for us here in the T6 Abyss because they allow us to not have to use a power grid rig. And instead we can fit a thermal armor reinforcer. Actually, I don't want to have a nanobot accelerator right there. It's good to have the nanobot accelerator. I prefer to have a bit more resist though. So we'll go for thermal armor reinforcer. Medium thermal armor reinforcer. I'm not sure. I think the reason is because I changed the fit, but it didn't change the rigs for some reason. So just put this here. There we go. And then we're also going to be using a Synth drop booster. This is going to allow us to get a bit more application, which is quite important actually in the T6 Abyss because I felt like application at sometimes could be a bit of a problem. So we're going to be using a bit more potent application boosters in right here. We've also got some like basic tank boosters, but I'm not going to use them just in case we need to. But we've been tanking so good already, so it's all right. So we're using the dual armor reps, and I've replaced the reactive armor hardener with a second Corpum A-type multispectrum. And actually, it would be better in some ways to use a reactive armor hardener, and also a lot cheaper. The thing is, the reason I'm going for this is because when it comes to omni damage, the most amount of buffer is achieved by putting a Corpum A-type multispectrum right here instead of a reactive armor hardener. But then, on the other hand, if we have like stuff like the very specific damages, like maybe Triglavians do thermal and explosive, or maybe, I don't know, Sanja who do EM damage, then it's better to go with the reactive armor hardener because then you can sort of patch the very important resists. Thing is that when you've got these kind of like the big omni resists right here, this is important because the whole point I want to have good resists is not because I've particularly got bad tank. It's because I want to have big resists to have big buffer against wrecking shots by the one and only Charybdis Tyrannos because they're the one who do the most amount of like alpha or wrecking shots. And then it's just going to be better to go with the multispectrums because when it comes to omni damage, we get most amount of resist by just using these multispectrums than the reactive armor hardener. As I said before, reactive armor hardener is really good in like very like specific incoming damage types, and I'll demonstrate to you right here. So you see here, I've not got the exact implants in right now, but this point is that's not really the point right here. You see we have 735 damage. We can actually just project a little bit Abyssal Weather Storm 3, so we have at least cap stability. 600 HP per second. Then you go and put the NPC Abyssal, and let's see now what's a Drifter. It's going to be omni damage. That's what Drifters do. They do every single resist equally. Then we put like maybe Triglavian, 748. Okay. Let's see what we have if we put reactive armor hardener. 748, and now look with the reactive armor hardener we have 852 because it's so powerful. The reactive armor hardener it just puts the resistance in the right place. The thing is, I don't see us having really big problems with the Triglavians in these Abyss sites because we've already, if we go here, we see have already 740 DPS tank, and we're not even projecting the implants right here. We've got high grade Asclepian. This is what we've got. High grade Asclepian. I mean, look at that, 1.1k DPS tank. There's like no problem right there. Concord as well, 1k DPS tank. And if we just go in Abyssal Drifter, which is Omni damage, is 925 DPS tank. So it's really just to get the buffer required so that we don't get like really easily one-shotted by Charybdis Tyrannos. That's the main point of these resist modules right here. So either way, let's get down and get into the Abyss. I want to just see that the application is good. That's my main biff with the high tier Zealot Abyss. Just sometimes the application cannot be good. And I'd really like to complete waves and just feel like, oh, our application is good. So hopefully we can improve things slightly with the Synth drop booster. And then also, since we're using the dual rep style build, I was able to fit in 2 or 3 heat sinks and still have the slots to spare. Because if I want to go single rep, then I need to use a lot more slots for tank to get sufficient tank. Since dual rep is so powerful, we can use less slots for tank. And we can actually have triple heat sinks right here, which gives us a lot of DPS. We unfortunately don't do as much DPS as the Tech 2, or the Tech 2 heavy pulse lasers, or whatnot. They need to regroup these. Conflagration right there. 880. So it's still not as much as the Tech 2 ones, because the Tech 2 ones give 900 DPS, but it's just a bit less, and we get a lot more tank. Let's get in there. I wonder how big of a difference is it if we Thermal armor reinforcer. I'm just wondering, maybe we could ditch the thermal armor reinforcer and maybe put like a gunnery rig that increases application. Could be an option actually. 'Cause I don't know how big of an impact this thermal armor hardener is going to do. Go for the null charges, Neutus. Stagger a little bit better. They're not being staggered too well, these guys right here. These are optimal waves for the Zealot. They're just the cruisers, they just go down so quickly. No issue whatsoever. You just obliterate these guys. Look what's going to happen when we get in range for Conflag. It's just going to be an absolute slaughter right here. Keep a range. Easy peasy. Let's just go for the neuters because we don't need to have these neuters neuting us out. But we've got a lot of capacity to spare. We've got 37 gigajoules to spare. Null charge. So it's we've got a lot of capacitors. The electrical side is quite powerful in that regard, but don't need to get careless because we've only got one CAT battery, so you can have issues from time to time if you get too much neuters. So it's always good to go for neuters first, even though we've got a lot of capacitor to spare like I'm doing right now. I mentioned it before, but one time I was AFKing a little bit, or half AFKing while playing. I was not playing properly. And then I just went to do something else, and then I suddenly noticed that I had a full wave of FE Altis neuting me out, and I did just neuted me out. I died in the test server, that is. But still, it just shows that it's not invincible. You can't just get too complacent, even with the, especially with the neuters, who are just going to nute you out. And the Zealot is especially vulnerable to nutes, because if it gets neuted out, it's neuted out, and that's it, because you can't shoot anymore. There's nothing more you can do. You can lock up these Silas over here. And if we're doing this for real, we should use our drones a bit more just to get some extra DPS, because that little extra DPS does add up. It does add up. We'll use them on the small guys right here, or the Scylla Tyrannuses, just to make everything a little bit quicker. Web him a bit. Use the pulses on him. Time is 2 minutes so far. Can go for this one over here. Actually split the drones, just so the drones can like focus on one target at a time. I feel like they're almost just gonna get, oh never mind, drones just getting obliterated. This is the issue. I love using the drones because of the extra DPS, but they just get annihilated so quickly. 4 NPCs left, very quick, very quick. We'll go towards a transfer conduit. We should do that to save a bit of time. Yeah, this is like a walk in the park. The waves that take a long time with the damn Triglavian waves. The ghosting dammers, they just give you so much problems because they make your application so bad. It's really, you'd really need to use the multi-frequency there because it's got a bit better application than the Conflag. But if there are no ghosters, usually you have a really easy time hitting the Damavics, even because they have big signature radiuses because they're MWDs. So you can actually just find yourself two-shotting or even one-shotting them with your Conflag. It's actually that good, this Conflag right here. Only 9 kilometer range. Okay, I thought it was a bit further range than that. Do the Jousts have shorter range? Let's just see right here. Jump in here. Tech 2. Conflag. Yeah, the Jousts have got quite a bit less range. Oh, that's unfortunate, right? They didn't know that's the case. Oh, that's quite bad, actually. 12-17 to 9 and 17. That's really bad. I didn't know this. And it's not like we've got any penalty either as well. Now that we're getting, like, you see, we're getting tracking disrupted right here. It just makes everything a lot worse. Actually, no, we're getting the items disrupted, so it's okay. We can unlock this because we're not going to really use the boot right here. Can we shoot this Dramiel? We'll just get close to the transfer con. It doesn't seem like we're able to do any application whatsoever because of this. Dramiel is going too fast, so we're just going to go for this Cinnabal over here. They're doing a big alphas, I noticed, because I can see my HP suddenly dips to quite a big degree. But it's also because they do a lot of EM damage, and we've got a lot of EM resist in the electrical site. And that's why they do suddenly a lot of damage. So now we're the Cinnabals over here. Just take everything that really webs me. That's really the main issue. If we don't get webbed, then it's going to be easier for us overall to apply because we'll be able to pull range, establish good transversal vector a lot easier. Web him a bit so we can hit a bit better. And all these little frigates causing problems. You need to just be a bit careful not to get fully neutered out. We're just getting glances off shots. It's very unfortunate. I think we should be getting better hits. Also optimal 9.8 kilometers. But that is actually something I didn't take into consideration. I didn't notice that. So that's something that maybe would make me less likely or less wanting to use the Joust. 25 tracking. I wonder if the Joust has worth tracking as well. Let's check. Because that looks not at all good, actually. Let's go with Conflag. 25 tracking. It's the same amount of tracking. Keep it range. It seems like it's going a bit better now that we're not as webbed, and the Cinnamals are a lot tankier than the elite Cinnamals as well. And we'll lock up these Dramiels over here. These bursts still go down very quickly on the way towards the transfer conduit. So yeah, take out this last Cinnamals, so then we're web free. We are web free! But we're tanking really good, even though it's got 70% EM resistance. That is actually quite serious when you've got the Angel Wave, because they do a lot of EM damage. It's also got to do that they do a lot of explosive damage, and like explosive resist is 91%, so it's like no joke right here in terms of explosive resist. Okay, we're going to switch over to Multifrequency. It seems like we're having troubles applying to these guys, and we'll use our drones as well just to give it a little bit of complementary DPS. Okay, we've got some grazing hits right there, so that's nice to see. Okay, good. Take out this guy. Oh, we've got attacking Clad 2. Instantly taking damage in the drones. Can we web a bit? Yeah, we can web. Okay, that's good. Webity web. Glances off 600 damage. That's actually quite decent. Can we shoot? Where's the range of this? Same as Conflag, the multi-frequency. Oh. Okay, these guys are now easy because these lodges are very slow. You can snipe them off the field. Where's our range? 28-35, so we're not getting full application because of range. You can have the drones go for the sword spines. Even web them a bit. Maybe we just go for the sword spines, to be honest. And then they'll be stuck in place or not really have anything to do since they'll have no one to rep. Blast these guys to pieces. Come on now. We're making good time. We're making good time. All things considered. Scorch. Let's go. Penetrating shots. Have the drones going a different way. They seem to be going very slow now. There's no one for them to rep. Lodges, they sometimes go like this. The NPC lodges. At least, I think it's the rogue drone or the sleeper one. I think it's a sleeper Logi. When you destroy everything else and the Logi's left, they'll just sit still. And I feel like they're almost sitting still at 200 meters a second. Okay, recall. Drones. Average time complete or room completion is 4 minutes. It's decent. What have we got here? Origin conduit. Deep watcher waves. Okay. These guys are a bit on the slow side. It's okay. We'll survive. It's just really a brute force type of wave. It's unfortunate when you got a bit of deep water suppressors, but it's alright. They'll be far away from the deep water suppressor by the time they get to the deep watches. What's our range? 35, 28. Oh, I really feel the range. The range is a lot worse here compared to the Tech 2s. Let's see what's the Tech 2 rep range, or the Scorch range, I mean. 33, 39. 28, 35. Yes, significant decrease in range, actually. Oof. Why are there no other storyline modules that are as good? I don't understand. It's just all for that power grid, really, and I don't even know if it's going to be even worth it. Like, we may as well just remove this thermal armor reinforcer, put ancillary current router, because just how much downsides there are to these. Heavy pulse laser, we get more range. We also get a lot more DPS, or quite a bit more DPS. 927. Might be good to just go like this instead. I mean, it feels really unfortunate to have to use the ancillary current rotor, because the thing is, like, I'm wasting a lot of my ship's capabilities by using that rig right there, but I don't see any other option, really. I don't see any other option, because it feels like the jousts are not that great. But then again, we could perhaps increase the range. Let's just say hypothetically, if we wanted to use this and we just remove the thermal armor refill, so we could maybe put something like, I know, ambit extension, medium energy ambit extension. We can't fit it because of rigs, but even the ambit extension, I think locus coordinator is the right rig, the best rig to use. Let's just do locus Coordinator, Medium Energy Locus Coordinator. And it's about the same range as Tech 2 basically. So you're basically paying extra for the storyline Joust modules, which cost like 100 million each. You get the same stats and lower DPS, pretty much. So I don't know. I think that it might be better to go to Tech 2s after all. I don't like it how the faction modules, they've got better fitting, but they don't have any DPS improvements. The Tech 2s, you'd think that they're the cheap module, this would be like one of the worst, but not the way it is. That's not the way it is. Pulse, medium. We've got Joust over here. Let's see now. 621. 621. They also got the focused mediums. They could be an option, but they're not that great because they've got like... Oh, what the heck is going on now? I stay too close right there. That's what happens when you stay too close to Lucid Deep Watchers. All their missiles just alpha you in the same time. Yeah, that was a big oops from me. Because we're in a blue cloud as well, makes it much worse. But focused medium pulse lasers could be good. It's just that they've got really bad range. Really bad range. And it's like, they're like these actually. They're very like these Joust heavy pulse lasers. They do have a bit better tracking though. That's one benefit of the focused mediums. That was a bit scary. See that, like, really they slapped me with those missiles. And I think it's got to do that they do EM damage as well, so they're doing quite a bit of damage like in relation to our HP, because we've got quite low EM damage. But still, I mean, we get it done, the job done quickly with the quad deep watcher wave. I mean, it's no joke right here. What would have been even better if we had the Tech 2s, to be honest. I like testing the Zealot a lot because my plan for the T0 to T6 Abyss series for the end game. So that's just why I'm doing a lot of extensive testing with different Zealot fists to see what I'll finally land on when I get to the end of the T0 to T6 Abyss series. And I mean, I'm even training towards Zealot right now, so sooner or later we are going to get there, even when it comes to T3, not just T6, but I'll be using the Zealot in like T3, T4 especially a lot in the T0 to T6 Abyss series. So it's definitely next on the list after that Retribution. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.